Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Pastor KP here with Pastor Dotton. We are here on doing another episode of Between the Pews. The other guys are not here right now, but that's just how ministry is, right, guys? We we're
That's it.
constant,
That's it.
constantly doing things, constantly trying to get things done, and the different things that we're doing in this pandemic makes it even more challenging, right? As we are as we're navigating it, man. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time.
Hmm.
We normally come on here a little bit earlier, but for the next few minutes, we're gonna talk about a couple items here. You know, uh, the first, well, I don't know if there's anything out there in COVID world, Gart, that you that came across your desk or your screen or anything like that. It's getting interesting. I see the rhetoric heating up in terms of you know the vaccinations getting to more people, but there's
hmm
still serious talks about mandating versus not, and also the issue of people giving or showing that they have been vaccinated and all these different things. Just bringing it up because we're dealing with COVID, so we
Yeah,
just have to say something. We have to say
man.
something.
Man, I got a call yesterday, and
Mhm.
some of our colleagues who took the I don't know which version of the vaccine they took, but some became extremely ill
Mhm.
to the point where they could not attend certain meetings that we had, and that's a concern. I mean, we don't know which type of vaccine they took, but
Yeah.
maybe we can discuss that at a later date about the side effects of these vaccines and if individuals are seeing some of those side effects and what they might be,
Mhm.
because we're not hearing much about that from the media, but obviously it's affecting some individuals. So we need to know how, and what would that look like,
Mhm.
and how would it affect those people's lives. So I think that's something worthy of a discussion later on for sure.
Yeah, they're pressing hard. I mean, Europe is facing all types of issues because individuals are, fighting against the restrictions and all these different things. Um, so there's a lot of controversy around it. I think, when it comes to health, and wellness, the other side, which I've always been saying, the other side to this issue is what I have a problem with. If we want to fight COVID, let's fight COVID, right? We want people to be well, let's help them to be well. But where does this thing
hmm
come from? Where you're talking about, your private records, yeah, talking about mandating things and all the, but it's interesting, like right here in Florida, as we go around and see the parks just like shut down, but they're like huge vaccine campaigns. And once again, black folks, they're pushing, say, we need to be out there to get this thing.
Yeah.
Um, and some scientists are saying, well, you don't need the two dose anymore. You just need one. So there's like some back and forth. There is something interesting that I do want to say before I move on to the next item, though. Um, Pfizer is
hmm
right now bargaining and providing vaccines to some poor countries, Latin American countries, and you know what they're doing? They're demanding sovereign assets in exchange for the vaccine.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
once again the media. So I'm telling you, it's these pharmaceutical companies are setting themselves up as, like, I don't know what to, some huge entity that's more than just about health and wellness, as I said. So basically they're demanding from these countries, one, their sovereign assets, and two, that if there are any liabilities, the country must fit the bill. You see what I'm saying? So you're moving outside of the realm now
Mm.
of vaccine, helping people, right? The vaccines
This is
already have,
total control, man.
yeah, sovereign assets. And once again, you just simply type it in, the name, Pfizer, or, even try Moderna, but I know Pfizer for sure. They want sovereign assets in exchange
Wow.
for vaccines. That's it's there, but people are so fearful.
Whew.
I've said it. They're so scared. Yes, anything you want, anything you want, right?
Yeah, mercy. It's
But
like
yeah,
selling your soul to the devil, man.
that's it. That's it.
You know, mercy. I don't even
But
know
that's
what you're giving up.
no sovereign assets telling countries that no, you're not getting it until you give us your buildings or you give us this land or whatever. But anyways, we keep watching it, and we are gonna have to just bring attention to the things that they bring out, right? Um, there's a two-tier system right now: the vaccine
For
versus
sure.
the vaccinated versus the unvaccinated, and what will you get, and what won't you get because you don't have it. All right, Meghan and
Hmm.
Harry and Meghan. It's killing the
Uh-oh.
airways right now.
You gonna go there. You gonna go there. All right. Man, man, it's something else. To hear the stories. I mean, there are mixed reactions online. I'm seeing some individuals who don't believe. Uh,
Yeah.
they don't believe her. They don't believe them. Being able to tell their story.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I mean, there was just some history that is in the background that we all have questioned for years,
Right.
and we can't deny that. There's from since Princess Diana, the days of Princess Diana, many individuals began to question what made this accident. I mean, there's a whole conspiracy behind it, and now you have someone who is black who just moved into the palace, and all of a sudden, within a couple of months, they're out, and there is no reason. There's no justification as to why would they leave, on what cause. I mean, after such a beautiful wedding, we saw all those singers, the black folks who came in with their perfect hairdos and everything, and we're like, wow, this is ushered in a whole new era in the
Yeah.
monarchy. We were able to see that, and we rejoiced with it. And then all of a sudden, she's leaving. She's taking her baby, and they're leaving, and they're moving to Canada. And I was like, what? They're moving to Canada, and then we hear they're moving to California, and they're like,
California.
what is going on? It just seems like they're all over the place. So obviously something took place, and there's not a whole lot of She's been very silent as to who exactly said what. She hasn't revealed those names, and I really do hope that she does, to tell
You
us the
wanted
names of the people who said the
heads,
things they did.
heads,
Reveal the
heads are
names,
rolling.
man. Tell us the
Head-
names.
Heads are rolling right now just for the little hints that she's dropped already, right? The palace is silent. You know, Piers Morgan quit. Was it Good Morning Britain?
Hmm. Let him
um,
quit. Let him quit. He needs to quit.
and the identifying of the negative press that Megan has been getting, and so you honestly think that this is just straight up racism? This the girl, it's not that the girl's personality is unbearable or anything, like it's just straight up, she black, and so for her, the complexion of her child to come into play is all racism.
They tried. I was reading some of those magazines, to see what their take was, and even in the wedding, they called her demanding, saying all that she had this ideology, that she was all of that, and she expected so much, and I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't she? I mean, after all, the woman is marrying into the monarchy.
Mm.
What has this monarchy really done to deserve the wealth that they have acquired? They don't
Capitalism,
work.
colonialism. That's how
No,
they
man,
got it.
it's the biggest, it's the largest welfare case on the face of the planet, because they just sit back and they collect a check. I mean, they go places and cameras follow them. They don't
Mm.
do anything, man. And
And just
and
wait.
here they are sitting down in some mansions, in some castles, all that stuff, and they change their gowns, and people even give them gowns to wear, or even clothes and tuxedos to wear. So they have outfits that sponsored. Everything comes to them, and yet because a black lady steps into that role, No, she doesn't. You know, what color will the how dark will the baby be? Like, give me a break, man. So yes, this has existed for a long time, and it's about time that it blows out the water so that we can see it for what it truly is, and begin to lay in and add some
Yeah.
conversation into the mix. Uh,
You're you're like all for this, man. You're like, throw a bomb in there, man. Let the thing blow up. Let you want
let's go.
everything to.
Let's hear it. Reveal it all, man. The things that are in the dark, let it come all out in the light, man. All that stuff has been in the dark a long time. They have stolen from many countries. They sitting on the wealth. They act like they're hyperloading. Well, they claim they're hyperloading, and we need to see the dirt for what it is. Let all the skeletons fall out the closet so we all can see it. Let all the dead people that they had stuffed up in those closets fall out so we can smell the stink from it, and we can see truly for what it is. It's a welfare case where they leech off the backs of many countries and many people. And let's call it for what it is. That's a dirty, dirty system that is there, and it has existed for long enough, and it needs to be blown out the water. So I'm glad it's happening right now. Bring it on, bring it on. Let Megan go in there and tell all the dirt. I just wish she told everything that came out of there and called all the names so that we can fire each and every one of them, because that's
Yeah.
that's what we need, right? Do like Pierce, like what happened to Pierce, for each and every one of them, blow them out the water so that we can call them out for their racist beliefs that they had hiding for a long time. Call them out.
What do you think about Harry? Even Harry, like calling out, his dad, and he understand what the Queen had to do because she had to do it. Well, but cutting off his security boss and just you know, and he's living off his mother's money. That's just nuts.
Well, hey, I mean, they're trying to muzzle him, man. They're trying to muzzle the guy. They're trying to see how they can strip away all type of power, all type of connections, so that they can muzzle them. And I'm just so happy that they were able to find some solace and some peace, and now they can share their story for what it is. This is what this era is about: sharing the stories that we have experienced, and I'm all for it. Let them share. Some people can say whatever they want, trash their name, call her out, all kinds of stuff, but let the story continue and let us hear the different parts of it, because she can't be lying fully. Even if it's 10% true, there are parts of it that we need to say, hey, there's a problem. So, you know what? There is a problem, and it existed for a long time. I just can't wait. Let all the stuff open up. Before, it's been so secretive, even to the time of Diana and before. This has been a
Yeah,
secretive system, a very all throughout history. There are people who are killing each other. I mean, going at each other, all that stuff. We read through it in the history books, but they still don't tell the whole story. And this is another part too, where I'd love to hear the whole story. I can't wait. Bring it all out, Megan. I wish Megan stayed there long enough to hear even more, so she could bring out all the dirt, man, all the juicy details, so we can chop it up. So we can chop it up right here. This is this is
guys,
this is what it's about. We
guys
want to
is
know.
going in. Guys is all for it. Oh my goodness. I mean, yeah. I listen.
Oh yeah, man.
Kudos,
Oh yeah.
kudos, kudos to Harry Boy for standing behind his black woman. All right. But
Oh, you ho. Come on now.
we always saw this, man. We know Harry was heading down that road. we know.
Hey, you seen Harry dance at those weddings, man. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
that's a brother
Harry,
right there. That's a brother.
yeah, his interactions in Jamaica and all of. Mr. Harry, wagwan boss. Oh my. But
Harry went up on
oh
the mountains in Jamaica and was hanging out with the dread, man. He was hanging out with
yes,
the dread. So you know what? All the
I think
best to them,
maybe,
man.
maybe the camera didn't catch everything, because Harry got a little bit more than mountain air.
Hey, hey, Harry had some natural mystic. There was some natural
Yes.
mystic in the air, man.
Listen, we're gonna chant down Babylon system. I'm gonna start with my family first. Oh my goodness. But yeah,
Let him go, man. I support them.
yeah, I was surprised to hear all of that stuff. And they were just so forthcoming with the information, and in light of BLM, in light of police brutality, in light, they're like, hey, monarchy is racist too. Of course, there are a lot of folks over there
Yeah.
defending their monarchy and defending the queen and all that, and the very very somber report. So the queen is sad, and quite dejected about what is happening. But yeah, yeah,
And look
let's
at my
hear.
face, man. I could care less. I could care less whether she's sad or glad. It's a
Mhm,
racist system, and it has always been, and it has leached off the backs of poor black countries. Let's
mhm,
call it for what it is. And they have built their wealth on the backs of poor people who continue to struggle in a lot of these countries. And they have ripped away the jewels, the gold from all of these African countries, and they continue to sit on it. And now they patrol the world. Queen of who? She ain't a queen, man. She's just a thief, just like the
yeah.
whole system. Anyway, you get me started, man.
Oh
you got
my
me all
god.
started, man.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, I love to hear you chop it up, man. I love to hear you chop it up in terms of what's going on, because I was just trying to, like I said, it's generating a broader conversation once again about race. And the memes are brutal. I can tell you that much. The memes are brutal.
Hmm.
Comparing looks of the monarchy versus Meghan as a or what's their son's name? What is it, George? Megan and Harry's son. What's his name?
Oh my goodness. I don't know why his name just slipped me right now.
Yeah,
Um, well, we all they know the name. They know the
yeah,
name.
yeah. All right, but anyways, all right. So something else happening in our world. We have the shutdown of the $15 minimum wage increase.
That's expected. That's
Why
expected.
is that expected, Gary? Why can't why
You know
why
that
can't
that that
why can't people get move from 725 to 15? Why are the Democrats some of the Democrats shooting this thing down? What's the problem?
because
A lot of
because
people are saying, "Oh, you're
because
going to kill small businesses, or you're going to do this." What's the issue?
De- Democrats or Republican, remember they're still multi-millionaires and billionaires. They got to
Mm,
think about themselves. And that's what we're seeing right here. People are thinking about themselves, and
yeah, yeah.
naturally, well, I say naturally, man, just uh, people are just selfish, and what we're
Right,
seeing
right.
here are selfish individuals, whether they're Democrat or Republican, thinking about their businesses, their bottom line. Why am I going to be paying somebody more money when I could pocket more? Like it doesn't make sense. So of course they're going to shoot that down because after all, they're business people, and so that's expected. So that's why it's no surprise to me. It's no surprise to me that they will shoot that down. If it was in the Republican government, they would shoot it down. Democrat government, they're shooting it down. It doesn't matter who they are; they're going to shoot it down because they're millionaires first. They're business people first, and they have invested in their companies, and they don't want anybody taking away their income. So that's what it's about: safeguarding their income, their livelihood.
The Democrats have the House and they have the Senate, right? But yet they're willing to bow to who is it? Who was it? The person that came forward and voted and said no, it's not right. Was it parliamentarian or something like that? I can't remember the title of the person, but
I don't
basically,
I don't know who it was.
it's not an elected official that came back and they decided with that report and they decided to go with that person when AOC and pretty much the Justice Democrats were saying, listen, that person was not elected by the people, right? And we're
Right.
using that person as a crutch to hide the fact that we do not want to get poor folks, like you said, that $15 increase. I, that's why I don't jump on any party's bandwagon, boss. If you're doing right by poor people, I'm with you, right? If you're not,
Man, then rich people are not going to tell poor people how to get rich,
mm,
and they're not going to help a poor man to get rich. It's very rare you find that. Their goal is to keep you impoverished so that they can make more money.
yeah, yeah,
So why in the world am I going to give you more money to put more wealth in your pocket? Like it's not going to happen, man.
And
The
and
harder you have to work is the more money they make.
and these politicians have everything, eh? They have all the health care. They have the huge. If most, if not all of these politicians are millionaires or multi-millionaires, I don't know if any of them are in the billionaire
Right.
category. That would be obscene. Maybe some of them are hiding their wealth, right? But they have become like um, rich, filthy rich, being in those positions
Hmm.
and forming connections. And as soon as you're trying to give poor people an opportunity, with this minimum wage increase, or even with the student loan, we can even put that in there. All of a sudden, no, we can't do it. No, it's not going to happen. Right. It was just heartbreaking. It was just heartbreaking to see, every time, you have the Democrats now in power and, they campaign on this madness, man. They campaign on this stuff. And then as soon as they get into office, it's no, we can't do it for you. No, it's not workable. It's not doable. But as you said,
Well,
Democrats,
that's what a campaign is, man.
yeah,
The campaign is supposed to get the people to believe a lie. It's like, oh, I'll tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to lower your taxes. I'm going to give you more money in your pocket. We hear it say over and over again, every year after year, and we fall into the trap. Oh, this one is going to be different. It's never going to be different because at the end of the day, they're just trying to do the same thing. They're trying to build wealth and take money from your pocket, higher your taxes, so you have to pay more so that they can pocket more. It's the age old story. So we can't cry now and think that, you know what, hey, they should be giving me more money. We should be getting $15, $20 or whatever. It's gonna take a while, man. Especially now they're giving you a stimulus check
do you think they will ever? It will ever? They'll ever get that 15 or?
through the stimulus check. We get it. The stimulus check that comes and they give you that $15 through the stimulus check, but at the end of the day, they're banking $20 and $30 for their own business. So
Yeah.
they'll give you that in a stimulus check. They have no problem in writing a check if it's going to put more money in their pocket, as long
Is
as
the
it makes
stimulus
more
check
money
a
for them.
one-time thing? Is the stimulus check a one-time thing?
Well, now this is what the third stimulus check that is coming. This is being
Yeah.
discussed right now. 1,400 check that Biden is trying to push right now that he's not going to sign his name on, and so that's supposed to be coming down the pipeline. If this thing passes and is able to now come out, and we're getting a $1,400 stimulus check, it's going to affect the economy, but people are going to spend more because that's what many people have, a consumer mindset where they're going to be continuing to spend and spend, and that's what they know. So you're spending in their businesses, they pocket more money, and they take it back from you anyway. So regardless of what is put out, they're still going to pocket more. They're pocketing for their businesses at first when the check comes out, and they're pocketing from the consumer people who have the consumer mindset, and they're going to pocket their money also. So they're reaping the benefits of this stimulus in both ways. And we continue to give, we continue to supply their needs pretty much any which way that they choose. So that's what we're finding right now. We're playing the game, man. They're playing a game, and we are the pieces that they move, and we refuse to do that. We refuse to do that. Forget
It,
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 man.
it's the Senate parliamentarian. That's what it is. Senate parliamentarian. That's the person that overruled that $15. So, and of course, the Democrats are hiding behind it. Yeah, the parliamentarian said so. So we're going to go with it. We're
Yeah,
going to go with it.
but they already knew what they were gonna do. These
Of
guys
course.
already know prior to voting on something. They already have an idea what they're about to do, man. They can say what they want, but they don't want to give poor people a chance to make it, to be even pay their bills. This crisis is all around us, man.
That
It's a
one,
sad
and
day.
that was my thing. I think we're trying to help people out of a crisis. The ones losing their jobs, or the ones suffering with sickness and all that. We always go back to that healthcare discussion and argument. If anything, COVID has exacerbated it now. Okay,
Hmm.
see, look at this. Individuals need healthcare. We have been fighting and arguing for a very long time. We can't get it. Now COVID comes. It's ravaging people. right? And we're still
Hmm.
there out there playing games about why it is that people can't get universal health care. But I'll continue to raise my voice when it comes to issues like that, simply because it's the poor that suffers. It's the poor that suffers. And as preachers, as Christians, there is no way we can see these injustices in our society and not say anything about it, and just talk about,
It's
oh,
true.
Jesus will come and fix it, right? But
That's
yeah.
what we used to hear, man. But it's sad. It's sad, man. And the rich continue to thrive off the backs of poor people. Um, the poor people who can't get proper health care, um, can't get sufficient funds to pay their bills.
Look at
If
what
they
Amazon
owned a home, they'll probably
was
lose it.
doing. Remember what Amazon was doing to its workers and stealing their tips, or holding back the money that they're supposed to get.
Hmm.
Of course, Bezos, retired, but or resigned, or somebody else is now in that position. But you've been getting so much tax breaks from governments, Amazon. Why would you be doing that? And it
Hmm.
goes back, where people are sometimes blame poor people for being poor. But every time individuals take a step to better themselves, you see companies, and for how long? If I can't remember, it was a year or something like that. Amazon was doing stuff like that. Why
Yeah,
you're oh my gosh, it just you know
preacher. You know what? You brought me way back um, to like high school days, man. We were taking a test, and the teacher actually brought up a point because the school I went to was specializing in business and science. My high school
mm,
was specializing in business and science, and um, and the teacher said, "Do you know which career path cheats the most on tests and exams and all these stuff?" And we're like, "No." And he's like, "Business people. They cheat the most on exams." And he's like, "Rightfully so, because the career path that you're choosing is being shaped right now." And now, years later, I'm looking back and I'm like, I remember that comment from that teacher, and I'm like, man, this guy is for real. Like business people now, they've left school, they cheated their way, and now they're in their careers, they've started their business, and
bigger
they're still
criminals,
cheating, man.
bigger criminals, and they don't go to jail for it.
A lot of times, or even if they do, they get bailed out by their friends. We seen it, man. We seen it. We seen it. What's the point? If I'm cheating and I just get a slap on the wrist, then and the guy is there trying to hustle and do whatever he can and provide for his family, and he's getting the short end of the stick, then you might as well cheat. At least that's how some people are thinking. But hey, I'm not advocating for that. I'm saying you need to you need to do what you can to provide for your family in an honest way. But we find a lot of individuals who claim to be very successful in business who do continue to do wrong, and it's just shaped their career path from when they were young, that they're just
Mm,
continuing to do, and they have a mindset that they've always had. They've been cheaters and swindlers and fraudsters for a long time, and they're just continuing in that path. And not all business people, but a lot of individuals operate that way, and it's a sad predicament that we're in, what we're seeing right now. A lot of individuals who are in politics, who are the ones who are supposed to be leading in society, have had businesses that supposedly are very successful, and they are now in politics, but they have the same mindset, and they're operating politically the same way that they have done their business, like a fraudster, like a like someone who's going like a gangster. What we're seeing is a gangster mentality in leadership, man, where they group together and try to destroy you. And if you say anything about it, they try to silence you. And what we're seeing is even displayed from the Queen, is displayed here in this country and in any other country around the world. Look at it, because you have these fraudsters and mobsters leading the countries. So I've said it, man. Hopefully that chops it up.
speaking of mobsters, the guard chief, the Capitol Hill guard chief, testified and about what happened in terms of the riot in January 6th there. And
Hmm.
Homeboy was basically saying that, he didn't get the green light from the higher ups in terms of sending in the proper personnel to deal with this thing. Um, I mean, a lot of reports came out about, police officers who were in there off duty, law enforcement, individuals from all walks of life who had pretty much access to whether it's federal agencies or connections or something like that. There was like a whole bunch of stuff. But the
Hmm.
point is, Homeboy was just saying that, you know, he didn't say it directly, but like it didn't the proper green light didn't come in time or come when it was supposed to. What do you think about that situation?
Of course not. Of course
Was it an
not, man.
inside job?
Um, it, it was deep inside job. It was a deep inside job, man. We all knew it was insurrection. It was insurrection. In everything was in. And
Um,
so, they were hoping that things would go the opposite way. So of course, I'm not, you know, man, you're not gonna. It was insurrection. I leave it at that. If I go too deep into this thing, I may have to call some names, and before long, they're gonna shut down your channel, man. So, I want to, I want, it was a plot, a system of control. They were hoping that things would go one way, so you're not gonna place the proper or adequate uh, uh, guards out there to ensure the safety. I mean, seriously, man. Um, if you had so many guards, so many
yeah, yeah.
police out there when you had a few young black people standing outside. I mean, honestly, you have a mob out there and no protection. That was a shame, man. Something was up, and
Yeah.
definitely it was an inside job. We can see it, because if the shoes were on the other.
Think you went mute, eh? All right, I can hear you
Oh
now.
man, yeah, it would have been different, man. It would have been totally different if we had a young set of black folks in there asking to storm the Capitol building, and it would have ended deadly. So what we've witnessed is something of an inside job called by someone in power, and I'm not going to say any names.
But in terms of, well, you know what, we're gone over our time. I mean, I was gonna go into it a little bit more, saying like, um, you know, it's really bad. Let's just say it's really bad, and I think they're playing nice with the situation because it's so embarrassing. What is George doing? What is your what is
Hey,
George?
hey, hey,
Hey,
hey, hey,
look who this is, man. Look who this
hey,
is.
my friend Garth, what's going on, baby?
Man, it's good to see
What?
you, bro.
Good,
What
good,
is
good. I know we're live, so I had to make sure I didn't see anything crazy. I thought,
what?
what's going on, guys? What's up? What's up, Kenton? Were you so shocked?
What are you doing?
Listen, man. Paul says I
his
am.
mic, his
Go,
mic is
go.
hot, man. It's on fire. I love that
That thing
mic,
is on.
man.
That thing is on fire, man. We try to spit nothing but hot fire. Is that what we do? I don't know. So what's going on, guys? What are we talking about? What did I come in on?
Listen, you came in when we were hitting the Capitol Hill riots, but I know that we started off with Megan and Harry,
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
and I really wanted your take on it, right? Um, but we're at the riots and the
Okay.
inside job, right? Based on the testimony that we've heard so far. The person didn't say inside, but basically there was a delay in terms
Yeah,
of seeking help, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, are you surprised? Are we surprised that that's the reality? I think that I wouldn't be surprised if there was no inside help, and it's it's just sad that that narrative just kind of displays the reality of where we are at in our
Crazy.
politics,
True.
that people are so far gone to the edges of the spectrum, right? That they'd be willing to insurrect, to
Destroy
kill.
a government, destroy a country. Yeah.
You saw they had the thing yesterday. They had a gentleman. They have the actual video footage. The
Mm.
FBI does, of the guy who planted the bombs, the pipe bombs at the RNC and DNC. So this was just, it wasn't just a protest gone rogue or bad. This was bad business in general.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's rough because as a pastor, we pastor people along that same ideological line spectrum. So you have
Mhm.
people who are conservative, people who are progressive, and you have some people, that you talk to, that you and I may pastor, who will say that they don't see anything wrong, or they don't see anything, they don't believe that anything wrong happened on that
And
particular day, on January 6th.
they don't see anything wrong with a little pipe bomb or two.
They'll say that was
Wow.
them. They'll
Wow.
say it was conspiracy. They'll say it was progressives or Antifa. That's what they say, it was Antifa who did it. Um, so yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
I thought
It's
Antifa.
rough.
I thought it was Antifa. You're not buying that, huh?
No, brother. The If I was a detective, Pastor Dalton, right? If I was a detective, I would say usually the most common reason is the easiest is the reason. You know,
Mm.
the people showed up. There was anger, there was animus, and they
And they
had.
didn't look like us. So yeah, let's just.
Oh, now you going deep. Listen, man,
Man.
I have a baby boy. I have to put food on the table. There's certain conversations that we can't talk about. Now I'm just playing. No, but seriously, yeah, man, it's one of those things where I think if we had done this, if for instance, let me give you a good example. This whole George Floyd
Or
situation. We're about to have a real juxtaposition in real time, because from the moment they go on that trial, you'll see people are going to start protesting, right? And you'll see the response of the people, of the authorities, versus how they responded back on January 6th. I believe it'll be radically different.
they've
That,
fenced off the place already. They've already
well,
showed
there
them.
it is.
Yeah, they've
There it is.
already fenced off the place. They have social media. Just so happened that I did catch some information. They have social media influencers trying to put out like positive messages. I don't know what positive message based to deter people from having protests.
That's crazy. What does that tell you? That it almost it's almost to me like they know the outcome, what the outcome is going to be.
That's what I'm
The
saying. That's
outcome
what
is known, man. The
Yeah,
outcome is
I
known.
get
It's
off.
it's not going to be any different, and that's what's
Yeah.
yeah,
upsetting, because it's not going to be any different than any of the other trials that we've seen,
yeah.
where they wait a couple months, and then when they think that people tend to kind of die down,
Lie
then
down,
you
right?
release it. Oh, nope, not guilty of anything, and
Yeah.
they're allowed to move to Montana, change their names and
My
all that
God,
stuff, so that they can live in
peace.
live there comfortably. And it's wrong, man. It's wrong, man. It's wrong. It's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
It's wrong.
yeah. It's well, I think that the at the very basis, when you look at the Megan and you look at what's happened in January 6th, it's just a pathology of sin, and the pathology of sin creates division among men. And I don't, I'm gonna keep it 100. I was born in Canada. My father pastored in Quebec, so it wasn't in the Ontario conference. We were literally in the Quebec conference, right, where we had to pastor. Where my father pastored white people and black people, and for the most part, I didn't know. I didn't growing up. I never had experienced that sharp division. It was there, but I wasn't unaware of it, right, until I came to America.
Mm.
And I say this to say that it's crazy how when we're united in purpose and in mission, a lot of that stuff falls out the way. But when we are divided based upon, finances, classism, education, zip codes, um, that ugliness rears itself. And I think that's a reality here in America and throughout the world. I think there's we've set up so many divisions or ways to differentiate ourselves from the other person that now it just, I don't know. I say sin proliferating itself
Mm.
in humanity. That's what I say.
In talking about the Megan, and just going back to that for a second there, in talking about that, George, you had spoken to me about
The firm.
firm versus the institution. Is that what you call it?
It was the institution. It is the firm and the institution is apparently the same thing. So I was making a broader I was making a broader like comparison to anytime we have organizations, the shield becomes the most important thing and not the individual.
Mm.
Right. So we look at, and again, I'm not disparaging, our institution or our firm, but is, even that as we deal, let me kind of just going off on a tangent when we talk about like church discipline, right?
Yeah.
The reason for church, it's written down. If someone has done something that brings about shame to the firm, to the organization, or to the institution, then we have to discipline them. And so I think sometimes, even though this discipline is supposed to be redemptive, the motives of how we operate sometimes can be viewed through the lens of the institution. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's what I was saying. Basically, in their interview, they were making these, allegations, or they were telling their truths, and it was eerily similar to things that I had heard from pastors who once were ministers in Adventist church, who quote unquote broke out, right? And they broke out because they felt they were trapped. They felt they were in a bubble. They felt that no one cared for them. They felt as though their families were insignificant. I move you here 5 years from now, regardless of where you are in your family planning, huh?
Or even shorter.
2 years. Yeah, I just moved you here. I'm gonna move you 2 years again, irregardless of your family dynamics. Is your wife in school? Oh, we didn't hire your wife. We hired you. So all these things that they put out, right? And again, it's to safeguard the firm and the institution, but not the people that prop it up, not the foot soldiers. They're indispensable because guess what? Every year we know that coming out of Oakwood, coming out of Andrews or Southern or Walla Walla, whatever, that there's a class of ministers fighting to get in, right? And out of that class of 30, maybe 2 gets in. So you're replaceable. And I don't take it for granted that I'm in ministry, that we're in ministry. It's a blessing. But can you think of them, like we went to school together, guys? Can you think of the many people who sat in the classrooms with us, who had the same aptitude, the same gifts, the same skill set, perhaps, and they're not here in ministry, right? And so I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. I just saw a little bit of correlation between the two. And I'm not again knocking our institution or our firm, to use Megan's term, but I am.
And you're not trying to break out either.
No, I'm not trying to break out, my brother. Listen, I was born in this thing, and they're gonna have to carry me. I was born in this thing, and have to carry me out. Someone said, "Yeah, man." So yeah. I told someone lately. I told someone recently, man. I am unapologetically. I can't even say that word right. I am unashamedly Adventist. I mean, this is who I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm Adventist. But I do, no, there's no, on this side of glory, there's no perfect institution. And that's just a reality. And I don't think that that's something that we should be afraid of saying. There's no perfect institution. I mean, can we just keep it real? We've seen similar things happening in the world, happening in our church, We've seen people, depending on what conference you're in or what section of the country you're in, you can go somewhere and you'll have somebody who will look at you and may not be as appreciative of you just because of your culture, your upbringing, or your thought process. And I don't know. So something to think about, bro.
Yeah, that's deep, man. I'm actually processing what you just said, and I'm like, man, any institution that begins to focus on preservation and
My
not on the
God,
people that support that organization is a
come on
dead
now,
institution.
come
It's
on.
really dead.
And here's the thing why. Because, see, and that's a problem. Our institution, we want to keep traditions alive. Traditions are good. Principle is good. I get it. But you have to understand that society is not static. It is kinetic, and people move. And let me give you, can I pause? I tell my church, I pastor a wonderful West Indian church, and I tell them all the time, I said, if you think I'm crazy or I'm liberal, and I fancy myself as very conservative, wait till the next generation of pastors come out of Oakwood. I'm just a bridge. I'm just trying to get you ready for the next guy that's coming behind me. Because the next guy coming behind me, my goodness, we're not ready for that, right? And so, and so again, like generations with the changing of generations, society changes, and there's nothing that we can do about it. It's not wrong. It's not inherently wrong. We have to focus on principles. We have to be pragmatic, but at the same time, we have to understand that we cannot always be so rigid with the custom. And you said it best, Pastor Dotton, that the moment that we begin to just focus on preserving the institution versus it's done. It's done.
What are you freezing up for? What are they freezing up for?
Who I froze?
Hey, KP, man.
Yeah.
For a second there, the last part, but we captured it. We captured it. I've seen some things there that is concerning to me. We talked about the next generation of pastors, but I'm seeing a decline in the amount of individuals that are going into ministry altogether. Our class had like 100 and something or more people who are all wanting to go into ministry. Now a lot of the institutions are only putting out 10 or sometimes even less of those who are wanting to go into ministry. There is a concern, and I think that the younger generation, this generation, is recognizing the frailty and the errors of the past within the institution, and they're not willing to put up with it. Similar to what we're experiencing with Meghan and Harry. This generation is not willing to put up with that foolishness of the past, man.
And can I go further? They're setting up parallel institutions. Is that even can you think about that for a second? They're setting up parallel, because they believe that you don't have to be in that generation doesn't believe you have to be in the organized institution. Yeah. They don't believe that there's only one form of ministry.
Yeah.
We look at things in a 2D version. They look at it in a 3D. Like, they look at all the different aspects of it, and I think a lot of that, though, has been made possible by some of our pastors who have been pastoring for a long time, and who are some of our brightest who have broken out themselves.
Yeah.
They were getting my own independent ministry.
They were getting lambasted for it, but I mean, even if they didn't realize how much they were impacting us, right? But I totally agree. I mean, they took a licking for it, they took a beating for it. But when we looked at some of the incredible things that it was like huge for us at the time. I remember even I'm not afraid to call dog its name when praise teams came out. I mean, maybe it's because I was from Canada and I was like blown away just to see, what I'm saying, praise team. Just that one aspect.
The concept of it all.
Yeah, the concept. I'm not even going to touch the multi-purpose facility. I'm not going to touch recording studio or anything like that and what he was doing. Just that one thing alone was like, whoa. And then from there, now, we took it, the next step. But no, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah. So I don't know. We've got to find a way to.
We got a new stimulus check coming. I just saw the House pass the stimulus check.
Oh, they passed it?
That's what I just saw. So I think you got a stimulus check coming, preacher.
Hey, preacher, you know what that means? You know what that means?
I
I'm about
saw
to
a
put.
joke. I
I'm about to
saw
put
a
some.
joke.
I'm gonna put,
Somebody said that all the with the tax return and the stimulus check, they said the ocean is going to be empty of crabs.
I was about to say something different. We're about to be driving down the street. We see nothing but 20 rims, 20-inch rims on tires. We are stimulating the economy, right? Yeah, man. It's but let's talk about that.
Man,
That's crazy to me, because it's not crazy. I think it was necessary, but it's crazy to me that people are not realizing the needs of the people. We're Canadians, and I think, Pastor Don, you lived in Canada for a little bit, right? So
$2,000, baby.
yeah,
$2,000.
I mean, consistently, right?
Up
man.
until in 2020, up until the month of October, baby. Up
Okay, forget this. Guess what? Guess what? I still have my health card. All right, I still have my little health. Man, brother, you better believe I have my health card. Yeah, I'm not playing no games. My dad, when my dad first retired, he was going back and forth between America and Canada. Him and my mom, and they were because. I mean, why pay all this money for doctors here? Go take your appointments. It may be 4 or 5 months down the line, but you take your appointments, you go do your thing, and you're good to go. I guess what I'm saying is, this country is supposed to be the wealthiest country in
Yeah.
the world. There's not even a close second, or
Yeah.
there's not even a close second. And so I just don't get it. I don't get how we can be comfortable with having people with less than average health care. We're having kids who are struggling. I saw a report where, as a result of schools being shut down, right? And we can drill down on that. That they were saying that there was a student in Baltimore with a cumulative GPA of like 0.13,
And
and
was
it was at the
Point one
his
three.
lit point. Was it 0.13? Yeah, and he was at the top half of his class.
class. Yeah.
That's what's crazy, right? So now we can talk about the fact that you guys want to have schools open, but you won't vaccinate the teachers, right? Just, or you won't find a ways to have children be safe. And so a lot of things I just don't get how we can be um so stuck in our ways. I get that money doesn't grow on trees, but at the same time, we have to
I,
prioritize.
yeah, but I don't think it's about being stuck in their ways, though, George. I just think that it's just greed, selfishness. They have it for themselves, for their family members, for their
Gotcha.
friends,
Gotcha.
right? And you and I,
Gotcha.
who voted for these individuals,
And we did.
they look back on us now and say, no, no, no. You guys don't need this. You don't deserve it. Work harder, work harder. You can do it. But we gave them all that they have. Oh, their very paycheck comes from people paying taxes, right? And Garth and I were, just before he came on, we were talking about the whole $15 minimum wage increase that was rejected, right?
That's crazy. How can let me tell you something. I was talking to my sister and their nurses, and in my mind, I kept saying $15. I didn't realize the $15 was not the minimum. I just thought $15 was normal. So then we were talking about their wages and how much they make. I won't put it out there, but what they make blew my mind. Or in hourly wages, in comparison to that 15, and it's just right. And so I'm saying to myself, even when you bring it down to 50, bring it up to 15, 15 is not a whole lot.
No, from 725, no sir, no sir.
Now I get that small businesses may not be able to afford to pay their workers $15 an hour. If that's the argument, then we can talk about that, right? Maybe we can, that just means that it's going to be that cost is going to be passed off to the consumer, right? But if everyone is doing well financially, then an increase in goods is not going to be an issue. But the problem is when you have when goods are continuously increasing, right? Because they are increasing, but the wages remain the same. If you look at gas, if they said the last time they had what was the last time they said they had a increase in wage? I think it was 2008.
10 years or something.
Okay.
10, 12
Okay.
years.
So gas now versus gas then is two different things, but the wages have remained the same. So there's been an increase in gas, but a stagnation in wages. So milk, eggs, stuff like that, and it's just like one of those things where we have to be compassionate. how do you expect people? You don't want people to be on welfare. You call them welfare or social or people who love social services, but at the same time, you're not giving them the tools necessary for them to pull themselves out of their financial struggles. Um, you know,
Man, I don't see it happening. I stand with that, KP, man. I don't see that happening because, again, you have a whole lot of business people with a
yeah,
mindset of a profit mindset. You
yeah,
know, you're going to lose profits if you have to pay more to those
yeah.
who are to help. Um,
Hey,
it's not going
yeah.
to happen. You have a slave master mentality, and
My
you're going to
God,
ask them to give more. It's not going to happen,
my
man.
my God, yeah. Hey, Don, I mean, I was looking at business staying afloat. You went further. You talking about profit to make. Yeah, you're because some of this business can afford, may be able to afford, but they will
Yeah,
choose not to because they want to make that money. They want to
that's
make that
it.
money. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's why I say whether it's the politicians or even the business, it's they want more. It's not that they're not making money, right? They want
mm,
even more, and in order for them to get more, they have to squeeze you more. So keep you. As a matter of fact, if they could dip that thing down to $7 an hour, okay, they will
my
Mhm.
do
God.
that.
What is it now? $8 an hour?
No, it's 7.25.
Man, what
That's
can you do with that?
business, man. That's business. That's business.
That's about how much we make an hour.
When, put,
Close
when
to
you
it.
minus when you minus the taxes, it's $3.75.
Hey, but as men of God, the Holy Spirit takes what we have, presses it down together, shakes it, and makes it run over, huh?
Okay, pretty up. All right. Yeah, God blows on it.
He blows his blessing on it. Listen, I'm telling you, this is yeah, it's rough. It's rough,
Oh
man.
my gosh. Well,
But you guys were having a good conversation. I feel like I came in at the tail end of a great conversation.
no. I mean,
You guys were having some good talk. Yeah,
we went back over some of the stuff that we spoke about, but I mean, the big conversation was that what Meghan and Harry did, and the
mm,
huge the heads rolling, the microscope that's on the monarchy right now, and the conversations that that brought out that conversation that brought out where what the monarchy is about, what's their
mm,
relevance. They're just making
mm,
money. They're looking at people's skin color, trying to keep it pure blood. I mean, these individuals are respected, or they're respectable. But for the skinheads or the white supremacists, we have all types of terrible names for them when they come out with this type of rhetoric, right?
yeah.
But it's the queen. They're rich and they're in high society. So yeah,
Well,
no way they're not capable.
can I go a little further? I think most of us are part of the three of us on this phone on this live. We were once a part of the Commonwealth to a certain degree. Yeah,
Common,
good.
God
What do you think
save.
about what say you about Pierce Morgan? Did you see what happened?
Oh, Garth was going in, man. Garth was
Oh,
saying,
Oh,
man,
I didn't. So I missed that. You guys talked about that already.
Garth
I
was
missed
going.
it.
Garth was saying,
he he he
I
he
want all
struck
the
the
dead
nerve. Man.
out of that closet. I want a bomb. I want even more. Let's hear it, Megan. Let's
I
also
wanted to reveal it all, preacher. I want her
cause
to reveal it all, bring it all out, bring it all
Yeah.
out in the open. I was just waiting for the names, and then she held back. But
Yeah.
I wanted to go back, and reveal all the names so that we can discuss them one by one. I mean, we don't want the issue on block, right? We want it
Yeah.
one by one. So let her bring it all out so that we can
Hey,
begin
mate.
to
That's
yeah
it. That's
discuss
it.
it.
Some of these uh sweet politicians they like to vote things in the blocks, but if you're gonna be detailed, we want to, like you said, one by one. Name. Yeah. Name your blessings one by one. That's right.
That's it.
So name them.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
Let's
but
it's time to rewrite history, man. Like
Yeah.
we've been very silent when
Yeah.
atrocious moments have hit throughout history, And I think
Mhm.
this era calls for people to speak out, not only tell their story, but call the names, man, so that we can
Mhm.
address the wrongs that has been done. Because unless it is addressed, it's never going to be dealt with. Like, we continue to push this stuff under the rug and allow for people like Pierce Morgan and all the others to be there as a public figure and be able to
Yeah,
spew their evil and
yeah.
their sinister ways, man. And for
My God.
years, who knows how many people his life has affected, his
And
ways have affected.
I was reading today. There's another girl that came out, another actress that apparently was at the receiving end of his misogyny, and it's crazy because sometimes you don't know the motives or the reasons behind them, and to hear the guy say it's because she cut you off or something like that. I mean, that is mind blowing, because this whole time I'm thinking you're being objective, but in your
Hmm.
objectivity you don't see it. But you're not even being objective. You're very subjective. You're treating her from a personal experience, right? And then whatever rage or anger you have, you're letting it out. So yeah, it is unfortunate. Yeah, it is.
Man,
Let's
it's sad.
we've reached our 1 hour mark, eh?
We have.
Oh goodness.
We can
It's been a
talk.
sweet hour. It's been a sweet hour. Listen, I want
Mercy.
to apologize to everybody in between in
He's,
between the pews. I I
he's
uh, I, I
such
had
an
some things.
organic. He's such an
Huh?
artist, he has a song for everything. Sweet hour.
It's been a sweet hour, baby. It's been a sweet hour. Listen, I am unashamedly Adventist. I was born in
Oh
this thing.
my.
Man, the
Hey,
preacher came with that mic. I'm loving that mic, man.
yeah,
That's
I
a
like
hot
it
mic
too,
right
man.
there.
But you know what? To
I'm
be
talking
honest, with
about
you, I only
fire.
have this mic. I only have this mic because I have a little podcast. So me and the guys do a podcast every Monday nights, and we try to do some things. But yeah, this mic is good, and it helps me when I preach online too. It
No,
does.
Joe, just not just that. Listen, say something about that initiative you have coming up, please, sir.
Yo, I'm glad. Kenton. I'm glad you asked me to do that, Pastor Garth. I want to actually engage all of our churches, especially in the Greater Miami area. We're giving away 100 pairs of brand new sneakers on March
Ooh.
the 26th of 2021. Right,
21.
we are partnering up with a gentleman from it. His name is Andre McDonald from the It's from the Soul, SOLE. And basically this gentleman is out of New York, and he has shoes, and he brand new shoes that he is able to fundraise and buy, and he gives them to homeless, to women in halfway shelters or abuse homes, shelters. He blesses kids who need shoes for school, sneakers, and so it's a good initiative. And so he's coming down to Florida, and through our church's connection with the Broward Sheriff Office, we were able to be the beneficiary of that blessing. So he's coming to our church, and I don't take it for granted. I don't believe in my church. I believe in the Adventist church for that region. So I'm trying to engage Tab. I'm trying to engage First Ephesus and Lighthouse. I'm trying to engage whosoever will, right? As long as we're in close proximity to make it happen. So already we've gotten shoes requests from a lot of people, church, young from behind SDH Church School. We got requests from people from New Hope SDH School. So we have we wanted to raise. We needed 100 feet. We're I think up to almost 75, 80 feet. Are people that have already registered. So that leaves us with about 25 more shoes that we can give away. So
Wow.
if you're in the Miami area, we will put up that information. I sent you guys the
Yeah,
flyer, so you can put it out there.
Yeah.
You can put it out there. And if you're in Miami, and the only caveat is you have to be able to come pick them up. We can't ship them. We can't send them. You have to come pick them up. And the address of the church is 3825 Southwest 41st Street, West Park, Florida, 33123, I believe. 33123. Yes, that's it.
We saw that first pause, okay? The first pause when you're trying to give us the address. We
We had to
caught that.
click back, man. We had to click back, but it did. You got it, man. Hey,
Yes,
stay with
yes.
the preacher, man.
Yeah, bear with me, baby. Bear with me. So, guys, thank you for the little plug. So that's what we want to. I think, and that's what I believe will unite our communities when we start doing good for them. Let me tell you, I went to a church not a while ago, and there's one of our sister churches actually a hub for the vaccination. They have like a clinic at their church, and they're vaccinating the public. People who qualify for it. And I said to myself, from the Adventist context, this was so beautiful. I saw people inside of a church, an Adventist church, that I would have thought I would never see, tattooed from the forehead down to their knees, right? From all kinds of different orientations, all kinds of ethnic backgrounds, all in one church, an African American Adventist church in this conference. Shout out to Pastor Wayne Hewlett over there in Port St.
Oh,
Lucie.
nice.
They're doing that. And at my first church, what I did when I was an intern, we had our church a polling booth, so similar. But every time it was like a local or federal election, our church was an actual polling booth. So people used to come in and out of there that you would never thought you would see in the Adventist church. And so I think we've got to get out of the mindset that we're just there to worship once a week and maybe on Wednesday nights, but to realize that we are just a conduit of blessings for our community. That's why we're here, and nothing more. The Sabbath morning, that's just icing on a cake. But hard work of ministry, what happens, during the week, man. So I don't know. Hopefully, we can get to that point where that becomes a reality.
Love it, man. Love it.
Yeah, just before we go off, there's only one thing. You listen. I'm gonna need you unkicking it. I don't see all of this pausing and all this beeping. Okay, wait, unkicking it. Okay,
Yo, I'm all you. What are you talking about?
I don't know this. You see it, Garth. You see it. All right. Put some respect on between the pews. Okay. I don't want this freezing. Okay. I don't want.
Am I freezing for real? I think my internet might be off or something. I don't know.
It's like you hear a truck backing up, and as soon as the truck starts to back up, your internet freezes.
Okay, beep. I'm sorry.
He'll reboot it, man. He'll reboot it.
Listen, you all are my colleagues, so of course I want to look good for you guys. If I bring shame to it between the pews, then I apologize. Back in the day, I used to watch a lot of Japanese samurai shows. So if I've dishonored y'all by any means, I can always cut off my finger. Give me a little samurai sword, cut off my finger. Right. You decide which finger you want me to cut off. Which one? This little pinky. I don't need this. No, this is what I need. I need this one right here. This is a pinky right here. I need this to drink. I need this to drive. This is no purpose. There's no purpose. Yes, I'll cut it off for you guys.
All right, folks. Catch you next week, next Wednesday. We'll talk again. All right.
Definitely.